What if I told you that three ordinary-looking $1 coins could be hiding extraordinary wealth right now? Coins that millions of people have held, spent, and ignored, yet a rare few are powerful enough to change a life overnight. From the iconic Eisenhower dollar to the controversial Susan B. Anthony coins, these pieces of American history are more than just money. In the right condition, with the right details, they cross into a world where collectors pay shocking prices and fortunes are made in silence. Before you spend another dollar coin, watch closely because one of these could be the reason everything changes. The coin number 1. The 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony $1 coin looks innocent, almost ordinary, and that is exactly why it has fooled millions of people for decades. When it first appeared in circulation, most Americans never imagined that this small, silver-colored dollar would one day become one of the most talked-about modern U.S. coins in collector circles. Named after Susan B. Anthony, a woman who reshaped American history through courage and resistance, this coin carries a silent power that goes far beyond its face value. Many were spent, scratched, ignored, and forgotten, but a tiny fraction survived in conditions so extraordinary that they now stand in a completely different financial universe. These are not just coins anymore. They are artifacts of timing, precision, and destiny, capable of shocking even experienced collectors. What makes the 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar truly dangerous to underestimate is that rarity does not always scream. Sometimes it whispers. This coin was produced during a moment of transition in American coinage, when design experiments, die preparations, and striking pressure created subtle variations that the average eye never noticed. While millions of coins entered circulation, only a microscopic number emerged with flawless surfaces, razor-sharp details, and untouched mint brilliance. In the collector world, perfection is not common. It is violent in its scarcity. A coin that escaped bags, machines, hands, and time itself becomes something entirely different. It transforms from currency into legacy, and that is where values stop behaving logically. Collectors who understand this coin know that condition is everything, but condition alone is not the full story. The true monsters of value are born when condition meets uniqueness. Certain 1979 P examples display strikes so bold and centered that they appear almost unreal, as if they were never meant for circulation at all. These coins glow with original luster, untouched by friction, with fields so clean they reflect light like mirrors. When such a coin appears, certified at the absolute highest level, it does not compete with normal coins. It enters private negotiations, elite auctions, and vault-level collections. This is where prices stop being discussed publicly and start being whispered behind closed doors. The idea that a 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar could be worth millions shocks people because they are trained to believe value must look old, gold, or dramatic. But modern rarity plays by different rules. The real power lies in survival rates, not mintages. Millions were made, yes, but almost all were damaged in some way, even at birth. Contact marks, weak strikes, dull surfaces, and careless handling destroyed potential fortunes before they ever had a chance to exist. The few that survived untouched are statistical miracles. When collectors compete for miracles, logic collapses and money follows obsession. That is how unimaginable numbers are born. This coin also holds a psychological weight that fuels its demand. Susan B. Anthony represents struggle, reform, and resistance, and that symbolism adds emotional gravity to the coin. High-end collectors do not just buy metal, they buy stories frozen in time. Owning a perfect 1979 piece Susan B. Anthony dollar is like owning a moment when history, art, and precision aligned for a split second, and then disappeared forever. That emotional pull multiplies financial desire, especially among collectors who already own everything else. When demand comes from people who do not need money, prices have no ceiling. Many people unknowingly still possess these coins, sitting quietly in drawers, jars, or inherited collections, never realizing what separates an ordinary example from a life-changing one. One careless sale, one rushed decision, One uneducated offer can erase generational wealth in seconds. This is why knowledgeable collectors never rush. They examine edges, surfaces, strikes, and originality with almost surgical focus. A single untouched coin can rewrite a family's future, while thousands of average ones remain nothing more than souvenirs. The danger is not in owning the coin. The danger is in underestimating it. In today's market, the highest grade 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars no longer follow published price guides. They operate in a realm where competition, prestige, and scarcity dominate. When two elite collectors want the same coin, the price becomes irrelevant. What matters is ownership. That is how coins move from thousands to hundreds of thousands and eventually into million-dollar territory. These are not overnight lottery wins. They are silent explosions, happening far away from public view, inside auction rooms and private vaults. The most important truth is this: coins that can change fortunes rarely look powerful. They hide behind familiarity. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar has been laughed at, ignored, and spent like pocket change, and that is exactly why its finest survivors are so deadly valuable. History has proven again and again that the greatest treasures are the ones nobody bothers to protect. If you ever come across this coin, do not rush, do not sell, and do not assume. One correct decision could mean the difference between regret and legacy. In the end, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is not about metal or denomination. It is about awareness. It is a reminder that unimaginable wealth often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone patient enough to recognize it. Many people spend their lives searching for opportunities, not realizing that one may already be resting in their hands. And for the few who truly understand this coin, it is no longer a dollar. It is a door, quietly waiting to be opened. The coin number 2. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary-looking that millions of people ignored it, spent it, or lost it in drawers, yet hidden inside that simple metal circle could be the key to unimaginable wealth. The 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin was born in a time of economic confusion in the United States, when Americans were adjusting to inflation, changing currency systems, and a new face on their money. No one at the time believed this small dollar coin would one day spark whispers of million-dollar value, secret varieties, and life-changing discoveries. But history has a strange habit of turning overlooked objects into legends, and this coin slowly began its journey from pocket change to collector obsession. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was more than just currency. It was a bold statement. For the first time in U.S. history, a real woman, a fearless fighter for equality, appeared on a circulating American coin. The 1980 D version, struck at the Denver Mint, came during a period when production was high but public acceptance was low. People confused it with quarters, rejected it in stores, and banks returned massive quantities to the government. This rejection is exactly what planted the seed of rarity in certain conditions, because while many coins were melted or mishandled, only a small number survived untouched, flawless, and perfectly struck. What truly separates an ordinary 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar from a potentially fortune-changing example is condition and character. Coins are like people, no two are exactly alike. Some were struck with sharper details, cleaner fields, and stronger mint impressions. Others escaped circulation entirely, sleeping in vaults, sealed rolls, or forgotten collections. Over decades, collectors began noticing subtle differences: strike quality, surface brilliance, die alignment, and microscopic anomalies that turned common coins into elite specimens. These rare survivors are not found in everyday change. They appear like ghosts, quietly waiting for the right hands to recognize their power. In the world of elite coin collecting, value is not created by age alone. It is born from perfection, mystery, and demand. A top-grade 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar represents a frozen moment in history, preserved exactly as it left the mint. Collectors chase these coins not for spending, but for status, rarity, and legacy. When competition rises and supply stays frozen, prices begin to climb in ways that shock ordinary people. This is how a coin once rejected by the public becomes a battlefield for wealthy collectors willing to pay extreme prices for the best example known. Stories circulate in the numismatic world about coins discovered in old boxes, inherited collections, or untouched bank rolls that turned into jaw-dropping opportunities. While not every 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar holds extraordinary value, the possibility alone has changed how people look at their change. The idea that a small mistake, an exceptional strike, or a perfectly preserved surface could multiply a coin's worth creates excitement that never fades. This is why experts always warn, never rush to sell, never clean a coin, and never assume you know its true value without proper evaluation. The power of this coin lies not just in metal, but in psychology. Humans are drawn to hidden treasure, to the belief that destiny sometimes hides behind ordinary appearances. The Susan B. Anthony dollar represents that belief perfectly. It reminds us that history does not always announce its masterpieces loudly. Sometimes, greatness whispers. A single coin, overlooked for decades, can suddenly become the center of attention when collectors realize how few perfect examples truly exist in the world. As years pass, interest in modern U.S. coins continues to grow, especially among new collectors and investors searching for tangible assets with stories behind them. The 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar benefits from this rising curiosity. It carries historical importance, cultural meaning, and the mystery that fuels collector passion. When demand increases and top-condition coins remain locked away in private collections, the gap between ordinary and extraordinary value becomes massive. This is where rumors of life-changing prices are born, not from fantasy, but from extreme rarity meeting intense desire. If you ever come across a Susan B. Anthony dollar dated 1980 with a Denver Mint mark, treat it with respect. Do not polish it, do not scratch it, and do not assume its worth by face value. Coins like this must be judged under proper lighting, magnification, and expert grading. History has proven again and again that fortunes are lost not because people never had valuable items, but because they didn't recognize them in time. Knowledge is what transforms metal into wealth. The story of the 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is not just about money. It is about awareness, patience, and timing. It teaches us that destiny does not always arrive wrapped in gold. Sometimes it comes disguised as something ordinary. Whether this coin becomes a legendary treasure or remains a historical artifact depends on condition, preservation, and the future of collector demand. But one truth remains unshaken. Never underestimate the quiet power of a coin that history once ignored, because it may still hold the ability to change a life forever. The coin number 3. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is not just metal, it is a moment frozen in American history, a coin born from change, controversy, and quiet ambition. When the United States decided to honor Susan B. Anthony, a fearless voice for equality, the nation stepped into unfamiliar territory. This coin entered circulation at a time when America itself was shifting, unsure whether this small dollar would be accepted or rejected. Many were spent without a second thought, tossed into vending machines, forgotten in drawers, or lost forever. But hidden among those ordinary pieces were rare survivors, coins that escaped heavy circulation, coins that carried unusual traits, striking characteristics, and mysterious qualities that today ignite the imagination of collectors worldwide. What once bought a cup of coffee now whispers stories of unimaginable wealth. The Denver Mint struck millions of these coins, yet rarity is never about numbers alone. True value is born when chance, condition, and imperfection collide. Some 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollars emerged with razor-sharp details, bold strikes, and surfaces untouched by time. Others carried subtle mint anomalies, details so small the untrained eye would miss them, yet powerful enough to separate an ordinary dollar from a life-changing treasure. In the world of elite collectors, perfection is power. A coin preserved in extraordinary condition, protected from wear, mishandling, and corrosion, enters a different universe altogether, where value is no longer measured in dollars, but in desire. What transforms this coin into a legend is the idea that not all 1979 D dollars are created equal. Some display unusually crisp lettering, deeply defined rims, and a strength of strike that feels almost intentional, as if the mint itself knew something special was being born. Others show alignment quirks, dye fatigue marks, or unusual textures that spark debate and fascination. These coins are not valuable because they are common, but because they're different. Difference is everything in numismatics. A single microscopic variation can elevate a coin from pocket change to centerpiece status in a serious collection. Condition is the silent king that rules this story. A 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar that has never seen circulation, never rubbed against other coins, never dulled under human hands, carries a glow that collectors crave. In such pristine states, the coin feels almost untouched by history, like it traveled through time and hiding. When a coin reaches elite preservation levels, its value potential multiplies dramatically. This is where whispers of massive prices begin, where collectors stop asking what is it worth and start asking who else wants it. Because value explodes when competition enters the room. There is something deeply psychological about owning a coin like this. It represents not only history, but the possibility that fortune can hide in plain sight. People have unknowingly spent coins that today would make collectors stop breathing. That reality fuels the dream. Every drawer, every old roll, every inherited collection carries the hope that one coin escaped the system and waited patiently for the right moment to be discovered. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar embodies that dream more than most. It reminds us that wealth does not always arrive loudly, it sometimes whispers. Stories surrounding this coin continue to grow. Stories of collectors paying staggering sums for exceptional examples, stories of auctions where competition drives prices far beyond expectations. In these moments, logic gives way to emotion. Collectors are not buying metal. They are buying history, scarcity, and status. They are buying the right to own something few others can. When demand meets rarity at the highest level, numbers lose meaning. That is when a single coin can redefine a person's financial reality overnight. This is why selling blindly is the greatest mistake anyone can make. A coin like this must be understood before it is released. It must be examined, preserved, and respected. Once a rare specimen leaves your hands without knowledge, its story continues without you. Many fortunes were lost not because the coin lacked value, but because patience was missing. In the coin world, time is leverage. The longer a rare piece survives in top condition, the louder its voice becomes in the marketplace. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar stands as proof that modern coins can carry extraordinary potential. It challenges the belief that only ancient or gold coins hold power. Sometimes, history hides in unexpected places, wrapped in familiarity, overlooked by millions. This coin teaches one brutal truth: opportunity does not announce itself. It waits quietly for those who know how to look, how to protect, and how to believe that small things can change everything. So if you hold a 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, do not rush.
Do not underestimate it.
Do not let impatience steal possibility. Because in the world of rare coins, fortune does not belong to the fastest seller, but to the one who understands what they truly hold. What looks like $1 today can become a symbol of transformation tomorrow. And sometimes, all it takes to change a life is one coin waiting to be recognized.